In the top position, he is Dream. And his opponent down here in the bottom, he is Nice. So we have seen some really fun, exciting ways to play this matchup recently, especially from the Terran side. We've seen some variations on Hellion timings where you send 4 Hellions across the map, dive them in, and then follow up with a very fast Widowmine drop, which can do quite a bit of damage, as a lot of the time the Protoss player won't actually be ready for it just because they don't necessarily wall off that frequently versus Terran. We've seen 2 base pushes, 3 CC, just a lot of ways on that side. On the Protoss side of things, though, we have seen, you know, going for these more standard openings that are just very powerful. You have, obviously, the Stalker timing that just hits at the perfect time where there's very few siege tanks. You blink in right on top of them, and then just kill your opponent from there. DTs still kind of in the meta. Since a lot of the time in the early game you do worry about slowing down your economy to use those scans, so they are still pretty good. And I mean, just going up to that 3 Colossus style, that's a time-honored classic, so there's no real way to fix that because it works so well versus early aggression. Or earlier aggression, I should say. Now, obviously, it looks like Dream is being a little bit cautious here with this Reaper. He wants to get some scouting information on proxy locations just to make sure that there's nothing too crazy going to be coming his way early on. And, I mean, Nice. Not really going to be doing anything like that right now. As you can see, he doesn't even send the probe across. So, right now, he's planning something a little bit cheeky as we have that Twilight Council coming in. So, like I was saying, this could go directly into blink timing. You have the potential for DTs off the back of it, but, you know, we're going to have to see what he decides to do with things. As we see Dream just going to be going up to that 1 Hellion and the starport behind it. A little bit of a scout going on there. So now he does see that, he did see that blink started up. And now this kind of has to ring not so much alarm bells at this point, but you got to be ready for the aggression. Looks like right now he's kind of playing it out like it's Stargate, hiding the Widowmine in the backfield. But I do think Dream has the potential to be aggressive first here. I think that's a good way to kind of slow down your opponent to send this drop with the Marines across the map, but actually Dream just modifying it a little bit, only getting 1 Widowmine into that medevac, so a little bit lower risk, I must say. Nice is paying attention so the Widowmine does not get to burrow. But he doesn't really lose too much for that. The Hellion did get in there, gets a couple of pot shots, but not enough to kill anything. So overall, just kind of glancing blows from Dream right now. Now, that's no reason to fear for him just yet because he does have that siege tank in position pretty far back in the base, so that's going to make it a little bit safer there. And I mean, this has been a kind of more defensive blink opening from Knights. He is going for that gateway explosion off the 3 bases right now, so his production is just going to ramp up exponentially. The problem is, if he's not careful, then he's just going to get cleaned up pretty fast with the siege tanks in position. But you know, he does have this bit of a timing before Stim finishes up. There's only going to be a couple of Marauders on the defense, so you can kind of pick those off as you choose. But Dream just decided to be a bit more aggressive with this, pushing back the Stalkers as far as he can. Wants to be careful not to lose the Raven at this point. That would be a huge pickup for Dream. And I mean, Nice can't really move in without that Warp Prism. He does have Vision of the High Ground, but it's the reinforcements that make this push a little bit more powerful. And we do actually have Storm very fast coming on the way. I mean, this is an interesting style here from Nice so far. We'll have to see if it works for him. As right now, he does need to get out of there with that Stalker hit squad. Now, he does not have charge at the moment. I don't even see an indicator that he wants to go up to that right now. It seems like he's focusing on getting the High Templars up. So we'll have to, I mean, again, Storm is going to be the one thing going for him here. It might catch a Dream pretty darn off guard since it's so early. A back in Dream's main base as well. We have a huge explosion of Zealots. And this is just nasty. They're going to get the concussive shells. They won't get stimmed. But I don't know if that matters at this point. One big storm going to go down. Charge getting canceled as well. But the Zealots have fallen. 14 more workers going down on the other side of the map. And this attack is doing a little bit here for Dream, but he's not going to be able to do so much afterwards. And now back in his base, losing 26 workers. Well, he is getting a couple more pickups here. Actually, you know, Nice. Having some trouble cleaning this up. He's going to lose the Cybernetics Corps and the Twilight Council. So that means no more Stalkers with this force. And even with the damage done, you know, there is a point where Dream can just use heals here. If you take a look at that income advantage, it's going down quite heavily there. Nice did lose 10 workers in the midst of that. A couple of Widow Mines going off. Raven going to try and get some work done as well. Getting a High Templar, which is pretty nice damage. Those are very gas intensive. Looks like the Widow Mine went off again, getting 4 more. And honestly, all things considered, that was a pretty relatively even trade. Dream coming out a little bit on top because he still has that army supply advantage, and he's only behind by 3 workers. Now, even though he did get a little blindsided by that storm, he is already gearing up for it. He's prepared. He's got the ghosts as well as the... actually, he doesn't have the static shock upgrade just yet. But going up to +2 while... well, Nice only has +1 armor and going up to +2 armor. So... I don't know about this attack. He's going to have to get some good storms to make it work. Remember, charge got delayed for a while. He does have it now, but is it going to be enough to push his way forward? He's going to jump right on top of this. The Widow Mines doing a little bit of damage to the bio in the front, but they do take out a majority of the Zealots. Green being attacked on multiple fronts, the burrito dust on the Archons. He's not able to get the damage done on them to clean them up. Nice. Getting a good SCV pull there, just storming a majority of them. And now the economy for Green is in shambles. One big warp in is all it takes. And Nice takes the game and takes the first of the series. So that was an exciting game. Unfortunately, Dream's big push was kind of slowed down by the fact that he had to defend back at home with those Zealots. Really just crushing his economy a little bit. And yeah, I mean, Nice just was able to take advantage of that quite nicely. Let's get these guys in game. Yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Make sure you do use that Matcherino code that we have up there in the chat. If you just type in APS 218 on the Matcherino page, you add 50 cents to the prize pool for free, which, I mean, is my favorite number when it comes to money. But without further ado, let's introduce these players in the game. Spawning down here in the bottom position of Death Aura. He is Dream for Brave Star Gaming. And up here in the top for Alpha X, he is Nice. We do have like a couple of minutes here. It looks like everything's just gonna ramp up a little bit from here. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too cheesy coming out of these guys just yet. We don't see that additional racks for a 2-1-1. We don't see additional gates for a max packs. So I think this game is going to play out a little bit more standard here. We've seen Nice do some crazy shenanigans in past series. So I think out of the two of them, we're going to see Nice being the more aggressive one. But, you know, Dream just wants to get a little bit of scouting information right now. He's got to check things out. And the front, and you know, Nice is kind of caught on to the fact that Dream is going to be pushing units in the front a little bit. He's going for the wall off here. Now, the problem with the wall off versus Terran is if you do have a concerted siege tank push, your cybernetics core and your tech choices are so vulnerable. And when they're that vulnerable, you just have so much trouble defending because you're going to lose the access to stalkers, lose those adepts which you can blink on top of them with. Not blink, but shade on top with. But already, Nice is getting a little bit flustered here. Pulling a bunch of those probes, so losing a lot of mining time with this. Reaper will be able to get on out of there, and he has gotten a perfect scout of what's coming his way. It looks like he's going to play it a little bit safer versus this Stargate. It is going to be Oracle this time, although we have seen some Protoss decide to mix it up and add some additional Phoenix off the back of that. But yeah, he's playing it really safe, just getting that Cyclone up rather than the Widowmine. Now has to be careful because he hasn't really been pumping out those Marines. So they're very vulnerable right now, only going to get one of those Adepts. And there's a fresh mule down there, so he's got to delay this Adept for as long as possible. I don't know if it was the best option to actually go for the Reaper in the back. This SCV gets the kill. I'm going to be very impressed. Okay, the fresh Adept prevents that. But on the other side of things, the Oracle does get shooed away. And I mean, from here, Dream is pretty safe. This is a decent commitment here from Nice to get things working. And yeah, sacrificing that first Oracle for the Cyclone. Nice is just playing not sloppy, but just a couple of pickoffs that didn't really need to happen. Dream off the back of this is going to be going for that faster third CC as well, so his economy is going to start exploding pretty darn soon. And it looks like he's trying to be just a little bit aggressive here as Nice is going to be adding in those additional Phoenix, which will be a little bit good for aggressive harassment. And if we do see a siege tank push, it'll make it a little bit easier to defend with those pickups. But the Cyclone, pretty much dead here, let's be honest. Now, it's interesting to see that Dream is going for a lot more Cyclones with this. Usually at this point, we would see the Terran player jump into siege tanks, maybe go into Widow Mines if he saw that it was going to go into heavy Zealots. So, again, just kind of reactionary play to this Phoenix style, which, by the way, Nice is continuing with. Still pumping those out as he's getting the Robo Facility and the Twilight Council down. So funnily enough, Nice very far behind in terms of that army supply. Just taking a look at that. Down over half because he has been kind of just powering up. He's been given that bit of room where he doesn't need to worry about defense too much. So he's been able to put majority of his income into these tech structures, going up to the Robo Bay as well. Getting these upgrades, especially that +1 attack, so he's going to be relatively equal in terms of upgrades, which is it's so good for the Protoss player. I do think that if Dream can get some sort of forward momentum going, it's going to hurt pretty badly. But again, he's just given Nice a lot of room to breathe, and now with this first big attack, we're gonna have to see if it's gonna be enough. And I mean, additional 30 army supply, so it should be. Couple of additional warpins. We don't have charge just yet. But Dream gonna get his first big stim, and he has to be careful not to overstim with this army. Cyclone getting picked out at the front. But now he's seen the Colossus, he's seen that the Zealots don't have charge just yet because they haven't jumped in on him. But he's just slowly and methodically pushing his way forward. Actually looking to go for a bit of a doom drop here. The Phoenix not in position to stop it. And I mean, behind this, he's going to be going for a double-pronged attack on the third base as well. So this is a very risky play, but it's looking to pay off for him as the entire army of Nice is out of position. Now, I don't think he'll be able to get out of here with a majority of these units unless he focus fires down the Phoenix. But 13 workers going down, and now again, the entire army of Nice is out of position. As we see going towards that third base, he's gonna force a recall. But unfortunately, that was mostly the Colossus and a couple of Zealots, so one of those Colossus is gonna fall. And now, while Dream did a nice bit of damage, he is down in terms of that army supply. And really, there's no AoE with this army. You have one Widowmine, so this counterattack from Nice might be able to do some pretty good damage. Loss is going to be able to wail away in the back. You can't really fight down that ramp either as Dream, as you're going to take a lot of fire from those Colossus. So a little bit back into a corner here, you can kind of see Dream just trying to pick an angle to attack into. But here we go, the SCVs are pulled forcefully. It's going to prevent a lot of this army from coming in. We do have a good concave on the Terran unit, so they're going to get as much damage done as possible. Widowmine's actually getting the burrow, but no shots going off. The problem is these Colossus in the back just going untethered, and I think Nice starting to break this position a bit. Yeah, look at that. A bunch of Widowmines on the other side of the map, but they're not going to do him any good right there. As the SCV count continues to fall, a few more Warpins going to be coming in for Nice as well. And while the Zealots are starting to get cleaned up, I think the damage is just too much, and Dream agrees. GG, Nice. So that was a really solid game. Again, Dream is going for these big pushes. He's trying to win the game off the back of them, but unfortunately, they're just not doing all the damage that they need to. He wasn't able to get out with a majority of those units, so the counterattack was just way too powerful to stop. Now, I'm not saying that Dream needs to be less aggressive, but he needs to be able to kind of disengage Yeah, he just needs to be able to disengage. Get those units out after getting those kind of pickoffs that he did, and then from there, have that army to stop any sort of counterattack. We didn't really see too much else from Nice. He wasn't going up to Templar Archive, so there were no Archons with it. And you know, once you know that your opponent isn't going for stuff like that, then it's a little bit easier to play around with. But speaking of playing around, this guy is going to be dancing around the map, spawning up here in the top of Lightshade. He is Brave Star Gaming's Dream. And his opponent down here in the bottom, he is Alpha X Nice. Already Nice going to be a little bit annoying here with that first probe. I think, honestly, this isn't one of the scariest things in the world. I think the scariest thing in the world in a TVP is a probe where you don't know the location of it. Just because that's the one that's going to be throwing down all these different proxies and, you know, just being a general nuisance out on the map. But I'm going to be interested to see what Nice decides to go for in this game. We've seen two different strategies from him so far. And, yeah, just kind of those similar results. Being able to stop the big push from Dream, and then from there going on to just counterattack and winning the game. So yeah, looks like out of Dream we're just gonna have that factory coming up again. Just 1-1-1. That's a pretty standard Terran opening. Nothing really wrong with it either. You get enough units out for the defense. You're able to kind of build up your economy, build up your tech. So yeah, I like it. I don't think that we're going to see... I don't think that we should see anything crazy out of him like a 2-1-1 like we would see out of Byun. The Hellions that I was kind of talking about earlier in the series, again, that's just not really Dream's playstyle. So while it would be fun to see, I do think he's kind of just sticking to his guns right now, trying to do what works for him. And I mean, off the back of this, we do see Nice mixing it up again. He's got the Robo facility down. Yeah, he doesn't have the Twilight Council just yet. So I'm wondering what he is going for. Right now, these 3 Adepts are going to be able to get some work done because there's just not that much in terms of units here from Dream just yet. He's got these 4 Marines and the bunker, which is going to help him out immensely. But, you know, Nice can actually just shade around that if he so chooses and get some more kills. Additional gateways on the way, as well as the War Prism, so this is not going to be the end of any aggression for Nice just yet. He's going to be even more aggressive, I'd like to say, so Dream being very cautious with it, going for that one Viking to kind of shoo away the War Prism. A little bit of juggling here, going to keep as many of them as live as possible. Honestly, Dream feels confident enough to just kind of jump on this, chase it down. He's got to be careful not to go too far because those adepts can be in his natural in a hot second, but killing off the Warp Prism. From there, I think this attack from Nice has finally ended. It looks like he's just going to try and jump around, kill off some of the reinforcements, but yeah, now Dream is the one with the potential to go on the offensive. As again, Nice invested a lot into that bit of aggression, and now Dream with the advantage. Looks like Nice isn't done though. Adding on those additional gateways, he is all in with this attack. The longer this goes on, the better Dream is suited to defend. Remember, there's no blink, so he can't go into the main base and kind of wrap around this army. From there, he has to rely on the Warp Prism. He's going to go for a little bit of a cheeky drop right here. Try and get some work done that way. Even going to go up to charge and those additional 5 gateways. But I mean, he's investing a lot into this. Losing again the Warp Prism, and the Stalkers are going to go down. They can't retreat off the back of this. Elliot, even the Hellion is enough to kind of pick them off. So now with a 45-8 army supply lead, this is where it gets dicey for Nice. He's trying to go up to that third base off the back of this as well. And he will have Storm, but Dream is just looking very powerful right now. Gotta remember though, as time goes on, that lead is gonna go down. So really, if Dream wants to win this game, he's gonna have to hit very, very soon. Now we do see the Stalker's gonna get a couple of pickoffs as well. They don't scout this third base, so he has no idea that that's there just yet. All his attention is coming down here to the main base. There is no healing with this army either. One medevac just now showing up. And there you go, a blanketing Storm all over this Terran bio. That is going to be red forever. And the Zealots just going to force those Widow Mines to kill off that tank. And from here, this attack has almost faltered. The Siege tanks, though, getting some nice connections on the Zealots. But again, remember that these are all red units, and now the Archon is going to be getting some good splash damage on those Marauders, but it's not going to be enough. GG, Dream takes his first match of the series. All right, so we're going to be going on to Pillars of Gold. It is now Nice's map choice. And already, this is shaping up to be a really good series. here we go. We're going to be hopping in to this game number 4, spawning. Down here in the top position of Pillars of Gold, he is Nice. And his opponent down here in the bottom with an SCV going across the map, he is Dream. Now, that doesn't look like the main base of Nice. So this SCV rolling around, going to put it in a very aggressive location as well. And I mean, Nice does know that this is here. He saw the SCV coming across the map with his first probe and just going to be a little bit of a nuisance throwing down that assimilator. So I don't really think that this is going to be something too crazy. I think he's going to just pump out a couple of Reapers and then jump back home with that Rax. That makes the most sense here because, I mean, really, you're not gonna be able to make sustained damage go off just one Rax. It just doesn't happen. And even now, it gets scouted at the last second. So it will finish up, and reproduction will start. It's funny because I don't think Zealot is really the best option. Just because the Zealot does get kind of cleaned up pretty easily. But this is going to just prompt Nice to say, to heck with it. I'm going to drop down a gateway in your natural. And from Baby. I do not know what I just said there, but the Reaper going to be coming in with the first CV. Shield Battery's not in position, so Nice actually going to lose a little bit of mining time here to try and deal with this. The SCV actually helping buffer for that Reaper, so already 4 workers going down. This is getting some amazing damage in. I mean, behind this, Nice only just now getting that Shield Battery finished up. So after losing 7 workers, just really good here as a supply depot, going to keep that Zealot out for the longest time as well. The problem is right now for Dream, he doesn't have anything at home to produce. So really this Zealot can wail away on him for a long time. With the addition of the Stalker, this is where it gets dicey here. He needs to pump out that Cyclone. He needs to finish that. Because now Nice is going to be pretty all in with this. Some okay pulls there, just trying to keep that depot alive for as long as possible. The problem is with that Cyclone, we do have that Shield Battery, so the 3 Stalkers going to make their life miserable. Actually just going to go straight for the Shield Battery, which is a nice call, but I don't know, Kev. Dream is still in a lot of trouble here. His one saving grace is that he does have that second CC, so he can afford to lose a little bit more. But he's starting to hold on. Just needs to keep that Cyclone alive for as long as possible. And now, next Shield Battery gonna pop, but it's just not gonna really be enough here as the Cyclone is getting some sustained damage on those Stalkers, so they aren't ever gonna be able to go up that ramp again. I think Nice has been taken down, but it doesn't look like he's gonna concede this game just yet. bit of a soft contain. But that's all it's going to be, a soft contain, because now Dreams is just back into his natural. Actually getting diving in there for the Cyclone. That was a good call because he saved the Stalker as well. But yeah, now Dream stabilized off 2 bases. He's got those wheels for that extra production. So really, he's just in a fantastic position. And I think we should see him kind of push out with this in just a little bit. You really don't want to give Nice kind of that time to recover off the back of that. You want to push your advantage as quickly as possible. We do see that Twilight Council going down, and although I don't think it's 100%, I think we are going to be seeing some win behind Dark Shrine shenanigans. Blink is good too. I think that's a better option than what I was suggesting. I'm glad that Nice isn't listening to me. Knows the writing is on the wall, so Dream gets the kill, and he ties up the series 2 apiece. All right, 4 quick games in, and we are moving right along. Hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. Remember, Matcherino. We got that code up there, APS 218. That will add a free 50 cents to the prize pool. Costs literally nothing but 2 seconds of your time. All right, we got these guys in the lobby. And now with the series tied up, it is everyone's game to play for. The shenanigans have started. And I think the thing about these longer show matches, these best of 9s, these kind of grueling slugfests, I think it comes down to the 5th and 6th, maybe even 7th game, where we see these crazy shenanigans start to pop out. So we'll have to see if that theory holds true, because up here in the top position of Oxide, where we see 2 SCVs heading out, he is Alpha X is Nice. And his opponent up here, down here in the bottom position of Oxide, he is Dream for Brave Star Gaming. Okay. So, again, there's not much else to say about these early game situation. You do It does take a couple of minutes to kind of ramp up here, but once again, we see that Zealot um, for Nice. That's probably going to be going across the map, just like in the previous game. I don't really think he's going to try to be as aggressive as last time, but sometimes just sending that Zealot across can be very good for kind of denying that scouting information, denying that just denying a little bit there from Dream. Yeah, there we go. The Zealot actually gonna almost cross paths with the Reaper. I would say that was like 2 ships passing in the night, but nah, that was in broad daylight. The Zealot trying to get a couple of cheeky hits off on that Reaper, dancing around the line of sight blocker, but you know, now Dream has caught on to that. And the Zealot is not going to be too long for this world, although we do have the Stalker going to come in to try and help his friend get home. Now, this isn't a huge commitment out of Nice just yet, but it's already going to pay a little bit of dividends here. He's not able to cancel the bunker, so that is a saving grace for Dream right now. He's able to kind of defend his front a lot easier now. Now, going back to the Twilight Council, that's been kind of Nice's signature in this series. Mostly focusing on the blink. Maybe he can change that up a little bit. I don't know. Honestly, it's been working for him pretty well, so I don't really see a reason to change things up. Reaper going to be coming in here a little bit annoying, more Nice to deal with, but that will get cleaned up. And I mean, from here, I do think he's going to try and be a little bit more aggressive. We do see the additional gateways popping up, and he is able to get that War Prism pretty soon. Dream, however, just going to go for this really non-committal Widow Mine drop. Just a couple of Marines, or excuse me, a couple of mines in the medevac. And just trying to get some cheeky damage with that. Behind it as well, he's gearing up for another siege tank push. Nice is paying attention. And really right now, he's just trying to deny that mining time now that he's been figured out. He's going to try to save the mine as well. He gets it. And that is a really nice save. He can use that for the defense, as it looks like Nice is gearing up for his blink play to come into effect. Stim only just now starting, so there is a big window for these Stalkers to get in there. That's a very vulnerable Stim pack location as well. He's just Dream kind of just focusing on defending it. Because if Stim gets sniped, any sort of aggression that you're going to have will be mitigated. Jumping right on top of that siege tank in the front. Nice. Going to get some really good juicy pickoffs here to start. The SEVs having to be pulled. And now this is a bit dicey for Dream. He still has those SEVs. Not mining, just trying to buffer for the Marines. Now, Nice though is not trying to rotate around at all. He's just trying to kind of force his way up that main ramp. It is still working pretty well for right now. On the other side of the map, we do have that Widow Mine getting a couple of good connections there. So 10 workers going down, but already we are down to 34 and 35 workers for both sides. Now, Nice did lose that observer, so he's going to have to use the prism. Stim is just so close right now. And really, when that finishes, that's when this timing of Stalkers ends, because you can't really force your way through. And that being said, Dream still has to be pretty careful about when he decides to stim, because he doesn't have any healing just yet. Nice trying to get a little bit of work done, but he is going to lose almost all of these Stalkers for that. In fact, he does lose all of them. So not really getting the damage that you would expect there from him. And now what this does is this opens up this this possibility for the counterattack. Dream, in all of these series, in all these games so far in the series, he's just been up a massive amount of army supply in the game with these pushes. And Nice once again going for that early storm. Now, I'm not saying that the early storm is a bad call. We have seen him get some huge connections, which have really just decimated Dream. But, I mean, at this point in the game, Nice is just taking a lot of connections on those Zealots. Does he have charge? He does. So he will be able to get on top there, but there is so many good positions for those tanks to fire onto. Dream gonna bait one of those storms out now that he knows that it's in play. He's gonna try and get a couple of pickoffs. A couple of SCVs getting taken down as well by a small Zealot run by in the back. Now Nice being a bit too proactive with those storms. He's utilizing them very early on. And now that he's out of them, he needs to focus on these Archons. In the back, he's going to try and dive on this location once again, taking some huge siege tank shots. Going to pop that shield overcharge right now, but yeah, that's not going to be enough. Dream takes the lead in game number 5. So at this point, Dream 2 games away from victory, and we have 2 maps left before it resets. We have Romanticide and Submarine. So after game number 7, if we still don't have a winner, then that's when the map pool resets, and you get pretty much free reign over the map choice. Now, Romanticide is one of those maps that kind of can favor those Terran Siege tank pushes. Because you do have that third base location, which has the really nice mineral line blockage. So if Dream decides to push into there, that's a little bit difficult to deal with. You got to get the wraparound with the Zealots. And honestly, there's just so many different locations for Dream to kind of siege up there. I'm not so much worried for Nice, as I am going to be interested to see how he's going to be reacting to these kind of pushes, because the last couple of games he's been faltering just a little bit under the pressure, because he's been going for these very tech-heavy builds. He's got with the storm, with the early charge, the blink timings. So let's find out what he's going to do against this guy down here, spawning in the bottom position for Brave Star Gaming. He is Dream. And his opponent up here in the top, he is Alpha X's Nice. So once again, Knight's just going to be a little bit of a dancer around here. You know, that's pretty standard for a Protoss. You want to kind of try and delay that Rax if you can. You really just want to slow down your opponent. We've seen him primarily go for that Twilight Council. The one time he went for Stargate, it did work well for him. But it certainly was a much closer game than it had any right to be. So I can kind of understand why he's not kind of continuing that trend. But yeah, for right now, we'll have to wait until that Cybernetics Core comes up to see what his decision is. He's going to be skipping the Reaper just to get that out, that early Marine. He wants to keep an eye on that probe, and funnily enough, he's going to be chasing it down. So he will see the proxy location. Nice. Oh, that is a huge scout for Dream. Just following the probe straight to it. And now while Dream has to scramble a little bit to change things up, he's going to throw down that Stargate in the main base. Now, I'm liking this. What we see Dream have is he's got these two Hellions, which, if paired up with the Widow Mines that he's going for right now, you have a very powerful two-pronged attack. Nice does have some time to react to it, though. As you can see, he's got those Adepts on patrol out front. Just trying to keep himself a little bit safe. But, you know, again, you can just kind of dive in here. Unfortunately, he only has two of them, so the shield battery is going to be doing a lot of work. It does take three to, it takes three Hellions to one-shot the probe line. The Adept actually going to be able to get in as well, so Dream scrambling for the defense right there as the Oracle coming in as well. 7 workers going down, so Dream a little bit distracted here at the front, going to delay this attack. And I mean, this is excellent damage for Nice. A little bit of a late pull. Oh, that could have been very dicey. These Hellions aren't done yet just yet. He's baiting them away from the shield battery just to get another juicy connection. So while it's not equivalent exchange here for the workers killed, he does get a little bit of counter damage done. Now, once again, we see Dream going for this heavy Cyclone build, playing it a little bit safe against the Phoenix. Yeah, it's going to be It's going to be Nice who decides to pull the trigger here. Just a mountain of Adepts, as well as that forward pylon. He's going to be looking essentially to kill Dream right here. He has a 10 army supply advantage, and those Adepts going to be so big of a nuisance to deal with as he doesn't really have the Marine count to deal with it. Phoenix going to be going into the main base as well, picking off a lot of those reinforcements. And with the Cyclones now in possession of those Oracles, or Phoenix rather, that is going to, like, that might be it for this game. Just massive amounts of damage being done. Now Dream actually going to be able to keep those Cyclones alive. He's been repairing them this entire time, so while I thought it was over for a minute there, he has taken 11 SCVs dead. But he is still fighting. Not getting that last connection. That is a little bit frustrating for him here. And I mean, taking a look at this, Dream just needs to stabilize. He's starting to catch up in that supply again, but the problem is you do have these Phoenix which can lift up the siege tank in the front, and honestly you don't even need to do that, as the Adepts can blink, or shade rather, right on top of that. But the longer this goes on, the better it can be for Dream, although Nice going up to that third base, his economy is just going to be massive pretty darn soon here. Let's see if this is enough. The Adepts going to shade right on top of the siege tanks. They do have glaives. SCVs having to be pulled, and those siege tanks doing more harm than good. Stim pack is complete, so that is going to save a lot of Dream's units here. And one siege tank does survive the liftoff, but again, 19 more workers going down. So this is more like a death by 1,000 cuts. If Dream wants to get back into this game, he's gonna have to do some counter damage very soon. So Nice just gonna shade on top of this once again. A really nice pickup there from Dream, just going to try and prevent the siege tank from doing too much friendly fire damage. And the Adepts going to get picked off once again. Dream's still down over 30 supply in total, but he's at each and every single time he's getting a little bit better on the defense. The question is it enough to overcome a 30 worker deficit right now? He just doesn't really have any splash. It looks like he's gearing up for a 2-base all-in. He's got those 5 racks, but he just doesn't really have the AoE to deal with this as efficiently as possible. And Nice ahead on terms of the upgrades as well. They're about to have +1 armor. The Stim, though, doing absolute wonders for him. The Adept's going to be forced back once again. Even going to force a recall there. But now Dream gonna be heading out for that counter damage I was talking about. He needs to get it done, and he needs to get it done now.
Our pylon is under attack.
Not much else to say about it. Nice just holding an aggressive supply lead this entire game. He's going to force the defensive warp in. but that shield battery going to help out quite a bit. Looks like Nice is just going to kind of sacrifice this location for right now. As I say that, never mind. He's got the Stalkers warping in at home. I mean, Dream has stabilized pretty darn well, all things considered. He is still only on 33 workers, but the mules are going to help him out. Like he's going to be going for a double pronged attack here. Just gets a tiny glimpse of that Manavac. I don't know if he's actually seen it. But now with the army of Dream out on the map, that Warpism has the potential to do some damage, and it's actually going to be rebuffed by these Marines. He's trying to do whatever he can to save it, but that might not be long for this world. As I say that, he saves it. Second Manavac going to be rebuffed on the back. And this army from Nice is going to catch out all of these siege tanks. They're not going to have time to siege up. Good concave as well, going to mitigate the damage done. And I think that's going to be it. Nice ties it up once again. And we're going to be heading into Yellow Submarine for the next map. What an action-packed series so far. These two are trading blows like it's nobody's business. Oh, man. All right, so like I was saying, we are going to get a guaranteed game number 8 at the very least. So some more action to come. Take a look at some of what's going on around here. Get that set up. But yeah, we're going to be loading in to game number 7, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Get that set up. So this guy's going to need your energy if he wants to keep going. Spawning up here in the top position, he is Brave Star Gaming's Dream. And his opponent looking dominant in that last game with death by 1,000 cuts. He is Alpha X's Nice. So already we've seen the kind of 2 linchpin attacks here from Nice. It's kind of funny because honestly that adept timing kind of just felt reactionary, all things considered. And the reason I say that is because we did see a lot of that early damage come in the form of that Oracle, of the Phoenix kind of follow-up. And we didn't see the Twilight Council until a little bit later on, so it kind of just felt like he smelt blood in the water and wanted to try and clean up that game early on. And I mean, he did succeed in finishing off his opponent, but again, it was a slow burnout rather than a one-off all-in attack that crippled him. I think this is a bit more of an aggressive map as well. You do have that short rush distance. It can be pretty easy to kind of mount those counterattacks off the back of this. So if Dream wants to prevent something like that happening again, he really does want to get a little bit of counter damage done if he sees that his opponent is going to keep being aggressive with these very committed attacks. Already as well, this Reaper being a little bit annoying, getting one of those probe kills. Adept going to be coming out the front as well. And Dream just trying to be a little bit annoying here. That bunker is going to keep that Reaper alive for the longest time. He does sacrifice the Adept, however, to make that work. He doesn't really delay too much either off the back of that. So nice little pickup there from Dream to start things off. And again, this is just really annoying for Nice because he can't really mine off this base, and now that Reaper is going to be able to go into the main base pretty soon to just get that very crucial scout for Blink. And yeah, with the confirm on that, he's seeing pretty much everything he needs to, and now he can kind of base his playstyle around that. Instantly going to throw down the additional racks. So going to be very safe about this, not leaving anything to chance. And I like this as well. He's just gonna kind of make sure that there's no proxy location. Just kind of confirming that there's no Stargate behind it. There's no DT Shrine hidden somewhere. So he's just kind of confirming that is indeed Blink and that it wasn't some fake out designed to kill him off with a hidden move. Now Stalkers are everywhere with this. Nice has to be paying very close attention as this medevac comes in. But here we go. Is Nice going to get the pull off in time? He is. Stalker's a little bit out of position for this. He's actually not going to pull in the main base, so 5 workers going down. He does lose the medevac and both of the mines for that attack, so not ideal, but getting some damage done is nice, especially when Nice is going to be moving across the map with this Blink. Now, keep in mind, with those additional racks, he is going to be going for the concussive shelves upgrade. We don't see him going for stim just yet. And we do have a couple of siege tanks in position in the back, so this is going to be a very costly Blink for Nice. Actually losing a majority of those Stalkers very early on. And he is going to have to get out of there. Some nice War Prism juggling right there to keep to keep some of those lower health Stalkers alive. But now, I don't know. I think Nice is going to start to lose his position right now. Even though he does pick off that bunker, he's going to try and pick off some of the Marauders in the back as well. I think Dream Just has a little bit too much. So Nice should not overextend. He should not overcommit. Going for a couple of cheeky pickoffs right now. And I mean, behind this, Nice going up to that third base. He's going for charge as well, so he's already transitioned. He's kind of just keeping this small hit squad here in case Dream decides to counterattack, which it does look like he's planning to, as he is setting up for it. I think that SCV is, or that C-Check is actually stuck. But Nice getting poked and prodded here, losing a majority of those stalkers. That was not ideal for him right there. And the Warpism, it's going to be going in with those charge lots while Dream is completely out of position on the map, going for this attack. It's going to come down to the reinforcements to stop this. Only one siege tank has come along. And already Dream is taking some pretty big damage, but Nice back at home doesn't have really a ton to defend here. Pretty much pure gateway units, and Dream is just going to power his way through. So losing all those SCVs meant nothing. He was only on 2 base, so he could afford to pump out more reinforcements, defend that drop. Yeah, just go from there, which means we are on game number 8. So Dream up to match point. Does he have it in him to finish this series out, or does Nice have a few more tricks up his sleeve? We're going to be hopping into Death Ore to find out. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. It has been absolutely action-packed. And I mean, it's just insane to think about the skill level of these players, as they are really giving it their all in this show match. And you know what? Speaking of the players, introduce them down here in the bottom position. Give him your energy. He is Alpha X's Nice. And his opponent up here in the top position, he is Bravestar Gaming's Dream. So we're not, for any Cannon Rush enthusiasts, we're not going to see that early form of Protoss shenaniganry. I thought it might be possible with sending that probe out, but Nice really just likes to get that very early probe out there to kind of harass his opponent, try and pull his attention away from what he's supposed to be doing. And really just be a nuisance with this. You know, this probe is just meant to slow things down. I mean, Nice needs to slow things down for as long as possible right now. I'm really interested to see how aggressive he's going to be in this game. We've kind of seen it both ways with his aggression. with that adept timing, he just massively, massively overwhelmed his opponent over time. But we kind of saw that his blink play kind of been petering out much earlier, because once Dream saw it, he's reacting to it by just dropping down those additional racks and almost going completely all in off 2 bases. Dream's going to be the one to mix it up. We have the potential for that medevac to pop out of there. Maybe even add it on the Liberator if we're lucky. But the Adept actually going to jump in, get a couple of SCV kills. It looks like he's on track to get at least one more. But he is going to sacrifice his life for this, as Nice going to be going for that Stargate. And the thing is, now we do see, he has seen the Hellions, so now behind this he does have that shield battery, which is going to keep him a little bit safe. This time though, we are going to see that 3rd Hellion popping out, which means he will have enough to one-shot those probes. Just have to target fire and get them attacking at the same time. Actually going to go up to 5. Very interesting here. So this does mean that Nice is not Nice is not going to take any chances. They're walling off his natural. Ooh, actually, we have the armory coming down. So this is Dream. This is one of Dream's really patented builds that we've seen. Excuse me, not Dream's patented build, but we've seen this out of Cure, especially, where he goes for these Hellions. And off the back of them, the Widow Mines as well. The medevac has been spotted, however, so he is going to have to pull that back home. I mean, this has the potential to do quite a bit of damage. But he did lose the medevac with this, actually. That's a little bit sad. Now keep in mind, with that armory, it means those Widow Mines are not going to be scouted out. But Dream going to set the trap once again. Gets a good connection on there, taking out another one of those Phoenix. Dream kind of just rotating around with these Hellions, looking for some damage to get done. Starport starting to burn down. He needs to send those SCVs for the defense. And just in the nick of time does he get those. Now, the Hellions going to be coming in, and they're going to take out a few of these Adepts. So Stalkers are going to be forced to warp in because they're a little bit tankier versus this. You know, all things considered, I think Dream, he had a good game plan, but he just got found out a little bit too quickly here. So Nice, very good reaction. But you know, we do have those additional couple of racks, and the 3rd CC is complete. So while this army comp may look a little bit strange, it's going to get a whole lot more standard, as he's going to be adding on the bio, which is absolutely crazy. The thing I like about the Hellions is he has kept them alive. He hasn't really tried to sacrifice them to get those probe kills. So he can add them in to the main army if he keeps them alive a little bit longer, but it looks like instead he's going to dive on that third base. Again, a pretty nice move. But here we go. Keep an eye on the medevac near the third. The Hellions going to get in here. 9 kills to start things off. There is no shield battery, so he is just one-shotting them. And nice, not paying attention over here. He just barely gets the pull away, but 23 workers going down. So with the double whammy for Dream. And even going to keep things going with an additional Widowmine drop. This is the kind of damage that is crippling the Nice right now. And I think with this supply lead that Dream is building, I think this is going to force Nice into a position where he's got to do something soon. The Widowmines are even recharged at that third base. You have one additional Widowmine there. Will it get the shot off? It does. So a total of 41 workers killed in the span of a couple seconds. And now, with Dream adding on the Vikings, the siege tanks, +1 armor and +1 attack for his mech units, I think he's gearing up for a very unstoppable push here. Quite a few Marauders with this army as well. So really these Colossus I don't think are going to be too long for this world. Might be a good idea to kind of shift into Disruptor play, because that's going to be his best option, is just getting some nice Disruptor hits. But this is the moment Dream was waiting for. He's up over 70 supply right now. Double the army supply as well off the back of this. And he's just going to try and push his way to victory. Can Knights hold on? Let's take a look. Dream going to be able to make it up the ramp. He splits off a couple of these Marines, but they're not long for this world if he's not careful. Going to go for a very aggressive siege up here, right on top of a lot of the production. Disruptor going to get its connection off, but only on a small handful of units. And now, with the production of Nice under fire, he just can't really get on top of this. He needs to recall to the main base, but even then, that's a very dicey statement. Finishing up a lot of this pylon, so this, what you see is what you get for this defense. And although he gets a couple of disruptive shots on top of the C-section and takes them out, it's not going to be enough. Dream with the 5-3